Welcome into the I-80 Boys preview and prediction show. We got LSU at Texas A&M. Christian, I'll start us off with the Tigers here. Look, they're 6-1. Now, that loss was early in the season against USC, as we remember. That was a while ago. And I have to admit, before I start off here, I was wrong about LSU this year. I think I had them penciled at like 8-4, man. They little bit better team than what I thought. So they're playing very well of late, winning games, the games that they should be winning. Last week, they beat Arkansas. I can't remember the final, if it was 34-10 or something like that, but tough place to play there. And LSU freaking kicked some ass. So as far as stats goes, you guys know I like to break down some stats, Christian. They're averaging 34.1 points per game. That's 30th in the country. They're 25th in total offense, 8th in passing offense, and 96th in rushing offense. Garrett Nussmeier, I got a lot of good things to say about this kid. I knew he was good going into the season. He's impressed me a lot this year. He's 183 of 283 with over 2,200 yards. He's got 8 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions so far this year. The kid's pretty elite, man. He can throw a good ball. The offense has been moving. Also, the running back, Caden Durham. This kid's been coming on strong the last couple of weeks. Looks like LSU's got a little bit of a run game going there. Kid's averaging over 6.2 yards per carry. He's got 6 tutties on the year as well. Wide receiver room, we know it's LSU. They're always loaded. Kyron Lacey, Aaron Anderson, and Mason Taylor, man, these guys have been great. All 3 of those guys have over 30 catches on the year and 10 touchdowns between the 3 of them. And like I said, one thing about Nussmeier too, man, in this, what makes this LSU offense tough to stop, especially the passing game, is he likes to spread it around. I mean, he's got tons of receivers out there, and it's been working so far this year. So I want to add this, and this is kind of an interesting stat as well, Christian. The O-line for LSU has been pretty damn good. They've only allowed 2 sacks this season, so that's very impressive, keeping Nussmeier upright. As far as the defense goes, I know you guys want to say they're not any good. I mean, this isn't last year's LSU defense. I do think they're better. They've played well in some of the games this year. There were times where they were a little questionable, but I will say this, so far this year, Christian, they've definitely looked like they're a little bit improved from last season. They're 67th in total defense. They give up 20.6 points per game. That's actually 36 in the country. They're 33rd in rushing yards allowed. They do give up some yards to the air, though. They're 103rd in the nation there. I'm sure you'll touch on that here in a minute with A&M. And then they're 7th in the country, Christian, in sacks. So they've been getting to the quarterback, Perkins and company. They've been doing a really good job. So with that being said, this game's going to be tough, man. I truly believe that for LSU. This is going to be a really good game. Kyle Field or Allen Fieldhouse, or I keep calling it Allen Fieldhouse. This is not Kansas Jayhawks. You know what I'm talking about. The 12th man, it's a tough place to play. So I expect this game to be really good. Christian, let me know about Texas A&M before I keep continuing to ramble on there.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, A&M to me is one of the most up and down teams this year. I mean, it's 6-1. I mean, obviously that opening game loss to Notre Dame at home, outside of that, they've just continued to take care of business and they've continued to win since then, obviously. But no, it's the ways that they've been winning. It's the ways that, sometimes a lot of people come on and like us and we talk about, well, they didn't do this or they didn't do that. And the stats here, the stats there. Look, they're, at the end of the day, you keep winning. Ask Miami. You know what I mean? Miami will tell you all about it. They keep winning in the weirdest ways possible. They're still undefeated. So the thing about A&M here that I look at is Connor Weigman. The guy came back, he got injured. I think, was it 2 or 3 games into the season? He got injured. He got hurt. He was out. Marcel Reed, the guy, came in, the redshirt freshman quarterback. He played pretty good, in mop-up duty for him, I thought. The thing for me, Chris, is Weigman came back in that Mizzou game from that injury, and he balled out. He looked like a guy, you know what I mean, that I haven't seen, at Texas A&M in a while. He just balled out, played a great game, and A&M just decimated Missouri. Now, again, I don't know. Whatever Mizzou is, I don't know. I think they're personally having a regression of a year. A&M fans can please come at me and let me know how wrong I am about that. When Bama stomps you, who's also not having a great year this week, we'll see how great that win looks, but whatever. Here's the thing. Weigman has to play up to this. Like you said, it's primed for throwing the football here, if you're Texas A&M. As we know, A&M is number 13 in the country right now, Chris, at rushing the football. They're spearheaded by Le'Veon Moss. Kid's been great. 8 touchdowns, 674 yards, 105 touches already this year. I mean, the kid's balled out, done what he's needed to do. He's been a good chunk of that offense. I need to know in this big game, this is number 1 and number 2 right now in the SEC, Chris. Number 1 and number 2, if you're listening to this, is A&M offensively, can they do enough to keep pace with LSU in this one? That's the big question I have. On the other side of it, okay, on the other side of the football here, defensively, A&M ranks 31st. Okay, it's about what I think they are. Now, I know in years past, they've been like a top 15, top 10 defense, whatever have you. I know Elko's the defensive guy. Still 31st, not bad as far as total defense. Chris, you said it exactly right. And that is LSU's only given up 2 sacks this year. Can A&M get home and put pressure on Nussmeier? If they sit back and they play this soft brand of football, which I don't think that's A&M, that's not Elko, but if they sit back and let him throw the ball, he'll pick you apart all day. And there's no way Connor Weigman, with his 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, is going to be able to keep you in that game if that's the case. And you have to avoid the run game. With that being said, Chris, I'll get into it here. I'll give you my personal prediction for this one here. I've got LSU 27, A&M 31.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you got a close one as well. Before I give my prediction here, like I said, it's kind of funny. You said 1 and 2 in the SEC, which I think would be a surprise. I don't think a lot of people before the season started, Christian, would have had these 2 teams right now at this point in the year, 1 and 2. It's kind of funny. They both lost their first game of the year. A&M's lost to Notre Dame. LSU obviously lost to USC, who I don't think either of us think is a real good team now. It's funny how both these teams have improved throughout the year, which is what you want to see. And I think you got a marquee matchup here. Give me the Tigers in this one, man. I got LSU 27, Texas A&M 24.